Hey everyone, it's the Blazer King with King's Critiques, and before I get started off with all the recording stuff I'm behind on, I did want to do the review for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, like I said I was going to do when I tweeted it out last night that I was going to see it, but I was way too tired by the time I got on my computer to actually sit here and, actively speak while remembering shit off top of my head. And to open things before I start the review, I'm going to mention that the background music is Jonathan Young's cover of Dragon Ball Super. I obviously couldn't get a cover of the superhero movie music, but at least I got this running, so it's something other than me talking for when I go silent every so often. So, with all that out of the way now, let us get into the actual portion of the written review that I have done, because I did write down, my review for this outside of what I could have just said off the top of my head. And honestly, I probably said more here than I would have said just speaking anyway. But of course, the precautionary thing of if you could, before you click away or watch this or whatever, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, because as you know, not as many people who watch my content are subscribed as they could be, even though the numbers on this channel say that I have a lot of subscribers. I still, I'm only halfway from partner status, so keep on hitting that red button down there. Alright, so, I'm writing this down because I'm too tired to do a thing off top of my head at 3:30 in the morning, as I mentioned a few moments ago. But here's what I got in mind about Superhero. Things will be randomly added in as I speak, as usual, probably, with these written things. First off, Piccolo still makes the best nanny for the Sun/Satan family. Pen's already 3 by this point. She can kick your ass. Not a spoiler, I think, if you saw the Broly movie. I think maybe it was part of Super that it happened when she, flew and was able to save people from dying. I don't remember which it was, though, so don't quote me on that. I know it was one or the other, and it was already shown, though, so I can't get in trouble for saying that. Anyway, I'll start with a little bit of a mostly not spoiler kind of review. The movie was good, kind of meta in parts, and a nice change of pace from the norm. I laughed, cried, and stared in entertainment during the fight scenes, as would be expected. Was it the best Super movie? No. Was it amazing? Yeah. It was at least better than Resurrection F, at least. Because, honestly, out of all 3 Super movies that precedented this one, Resurrection F was the worst, and will still continue to be the worst. Because, yes, it's really cool that that was the first sighting of Golden Frieza, but that was literally the best part of Resurrection F. Like, they basically had a cop-out just like at the end of the Goku Black season, or arc. So, I can't really call it a good movie. Okay, well, I can't really call it a great movie. I can call it a good movie, but I cannot call it a great movie. But I don't want to say a lot specifically as far as this movie goes, because then I'll be getting in more spoiler territory that is actual spoilers. But I will say that if you don't want spoilers, you should go see it in theater. Definitely worth it. Got to see more than what you'd expect throughout the past, 20 Dragon Ball movies. Right, I forgot to change it so that thing was on actually what? Well, actually, no, this worked, because that's actually the... Or I'll just set it on loop now. There we go. Alright. Yeah, go see it in the theater if you can afford it. If not, it'll probably drop on Crunchyroll by at least the winter, I would imagine. But from here on, there are going to be spoilers abound, so skip to the end or just hit the like button and subscribe if you don't want to be spoiled. I'll give you 5 seconds to do that before I start talking again. First things first, as I mentioned before, Piccolo's training Pan and she could kick your ass. But she had more impact in the movie than just mimicking what her father had done in the beginning of Z. Matter of fact, we'll see a couple more Z references later. But first, let's go back a bit further and also dabble in Z, the Red Ribbon Army. The son, or grandson? I don't quite remember. I think it's one for one character, one for the other. But anyway, the descendant of the leader of the Red Ribbon Army had been building the aforementioned group over time back up using a cover-up business, and he ended up bringing in a relative of Dr. Gero, who I think he fills the grandson role here. I don't want to actually make sense of the thing they showed, because didn't 16 die and get turned into an android before he had a chance to have a kid? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, he brings in Dr. Hedo is the dude's name, to try and, make a bunch of androids and other things like it. We'll get back to that later as well. To stop Bulma and company, making him believe that they're the bad guys instead of the good guys, even though Capsule Corp and the Z Warriors are, as we know, the good guys and always have been, and the Red Ribbon Army has majority-wise been the bad guys. Like, I can only think of 3 or 4 characters from the Red Ribbon Army who turned, the other cheek and joined the good guys. And that would be 8, because I'm pretty sure he was originally a Red Ribbon android, but he joined the good guys, even though we haven't seen him for more than, 5 seconds since the original Dragon Ball series. And 16, 17, 18. But 16 we also don't see anymore for obvious reasons. But the picked up scientist, Dr. Hedo, agreed initially to working with Magenta, as is the main bad guy's name. Against his morals, anyway, because Dr. Hedo actually thoroughly believes he's a good guy and a superhero at that. Hence the name of the movie, because, well, we'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. Fast forward sometime later, after some jokes, a fight scene of Piccolo versus a superhero look-alike android, which, I mean, we just went over where that's coming from, and some espionage into the Red Ribbon Army base. Piccolo ends up figuring that he needs a power boost, but since Dende can't do it, he asked the help of the Eternal Dragon, who Bulma already had the Dragon Balls for, and since Piccolo didn't think to wish a power-up for Gohan or to get back the usual main characters, he basically just got the power-up for himself, and then Bulma wished for dumb shit, because women, right? I'm kidding, I'm only talking from, what you would expect of a middle-aged woman to wish for. And middle-aged or not, Bulma is still one of the hottest characters in the show. Granted, we know why now, but that's neither here nor there, is it? But we come down to him fake kidnapping Pan for the bad guy, only to pressure Gohan to coming to them to try and get his daughter back and help beat up the bad guy and realize his true potential and all that stuff. Gohan fights one of the superhero androids, because there's 2 of them. Piccolo learned a new trick thanks to the dragon a little bit ago, and only just discovered it while also fighting one of the 2 superhero androids, the same one he fought before, but he got an upgrade. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, Bulma was trying to contact Whis for Goku and Vegeta to come back and do their usual thing of saving the world, but they're busy sparring, and Beerus, Whis, and Broly's crew are all just eating ice cream. Well, Broly's watching the fight, but everyone else is eating ice cream, and Beerus has a crush on Chi-Light. Can you blame him, though? I mean, for an alien, she's also kind of hot. And the animators knew what they were doing as far as the females go. I'm just saying, like, any shot there was potential for booty shots, they took it. Like, you gotta at least appreciate the artist for that one. But yeah, basically, Bulma could not get a hold of them, and it was up to the B tier squad to save the Earth. But back to the important part of things. Hedo, Magenta, and his androids. All this shit is going on, but Hedo and the androids realize that they're actually not fighting on the right side of things. And an even bigger flashback from Z starts to occur because Magenta goes back and starts smashing on the keyboard to a third project that Dr. Hedo had begun, which is another flashback from Z. Cell. Not just, reincarnating Cell, remaking Cell, whatever, to do what he did before. No, it took the appearance of imperfect Cell and also went rage mode. They basically took what happened with Bio Broly, but it's a good movie. And Bio Broly isn't a terrible movie, in my opinion. Like, there's more comedy in it than actual good action scenes, but I digress. But yeah, Cell Max, and he's big, he's red, he's angry, and he's virtually unstoppable. And then as soon as he's awakened, conveniently, everyone else in the B Squad shows up. Krillin, 18, Trunks, Goten, etc. So, there's a big, probably 30-40 minute fight scene. I'm not going to go over every detail of it. It was really cool, it was entertaining, that's obvious. But it ends up with Gohan doing one of the coolest looking special beam cannons I've ever seen, which also, when that happened, kind of referenced the ending part of the Raditz arc, where Goku sacrificed himself so Piccolo could, shoot through Raditz to kill him. Even though I still say to this day that he could have done the exact same thing that Gohan did here and take the headshot and not kill Goku. But I suppose that's almost 30 years too late to mention that, isn't it? But that's just my opinion on how that's what it was supposed to be reflecting. There were a lot of things that felt like they were Z references in this movie. Like, argue with me if you want. That's actually more appreciated because, comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. And two, he gained a new transformation for himself, and actually, wait, there's something I forgot to look up. I'm gonna pause real quick before I continue that thought process. Alright. And honestly, Gohan's transformation kind of resembled Ultra Instinct, but it wasn't exactly Ultra Instinct. Because his hair did go silver and shit, but, like, poofed upwards further than Super Saiyan 1 or 2. So, like, could we call this Ultra Instinct 2? Could we call it Super Saiyan 5? What do we call it? That's up to debate. That's up to, the people in charge of the show to tell us. And hey, also, on the bright side, nobody important died in this movie, right? But let's ignore that. Anyway, on the other side of things, to the main characters that usually take place in these movies, since they had very little to do with all the big fight stuff that happened. The good news is, and congrats to him, Vegeta finally beat Goku when neither were trying their hardest. You know, they were both base Saiyan form and fighting it out. So their stamina, their strength was lower than it was. So has Vegeta gotten stronger than Goku since they first met that first time on Earth? Yes. Is he stronger than Goku at his strongest at Super Saiyan Blue or Ultra Instinct? Probably not. But that was that for the movie. I'll just add on some extra tidbits here. I mentioned before there were a bunch of in-universe references as well, saying that, say for instance, Dr. Hedo should know about the android and cell stuff that happened because they would have been old enough. Also talking about us, the fans, as they did at the outset of the movie, because, I mean, the announcer was talking to us when the movie started to remind the people who don't know because they weren't old enough or didn't go back to look at the content about the shit that happened during the events of Dragon Ball involving the Red Ribbon Army. You know, kind of like some things that were noted like that kind of sounded like they were talking more to us than anything. And of course, they fit in a couple of sad scenes, as most anime movies do nowadays, even in shonen films. I mean, I remember Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, there was a couple of sad scenes in it. But ending lessons, at least the ones I could think of, are Bulma shallow, but we knew that. Gohan truly could be the main character if they'd let him, but I kind of think Dragon Ball is going to last forever, like Doraemon or Shin-Chan and stuff, and Pan might actually take over to be the main character. I might be wrong, but I mean, we're still like, what, 4 arcs behind in Super compared to where they are in the manga? And for once a scientist turns out to be a good guy and joined them, whether that be made canon or not, who knows? I do know that, speaking of being 4 arcs or more behind, I can't wait for Super to come back, see Moro, whatever other villains are to come. It's honestly going to be a great time, especially seeing that Pan can kick ass, Piccolo and Gohan have new transformations, and every Super movie has been canon so far. So I don't see why these wouldn't be canon. Granted, we can only say they've been canon so far for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, which, as we know, Mugen Train for Demon Slayer took those hints and threw it in the beginning of the season proper. So, I mean, why wouldn't they take Broly and this movie and add them in as episodes in the beginning of the new seasons of Super when it does come back, before taking us into whatever shit's going on afterwards? Personally, I can't wait on all that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as, of course, other things I should check out pertaining to movies, shows, whatever. Preferably anime-wise, but hey, as you saw with that random trailer I put up a couple of weeks ago, I'll take any request, and if it doesn't seem completely stupid, I'll try it. But outro time as per normal. If you haven't seen the movie yet, do go do so. Let me know of anything else I should watch, like I said. And, of course, if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my main channel in the description down below, where we handle all of our gaming content. Ring both bells like Facebook, follow Twitter, keep updated with things. TikTok, because I upload batches from time to time. Twitch, subscribe there for benefits, can do so. Twitch Prime for free. And all the subscriptions help me out immensely. Jesus Christ. That being said, it has been the Blaze of King with King's Critiques, saying that this is a great movie. Don't forget to check it out one way or the other, especially before they ruin the quality trying to make it into episodes for Super, because the CGI is actually not terrible. It's been the Blaze of King with King's Critiques. Sign out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.